Well, we are live.
Talking
So,
about our lives.
welcome back, everyone. This is the final session of our Business Flow LinkedIn Live series, and it's part three, Send It. I'm Saundi Harrison Cooksey. I'm a voice actor and creator of Fry O'Clock, and I'll be your host and moderator for today. And listen, if you've been with us from the beginning, first of all, thank you. You've watched Maya evolve and move from uncertainty to clarity. And today, this is where we complete the framework, introducing you to the profit first methodology and percentages, and most importantly, the automation and the rhythm that makes the system sustainable. So, as we always do, let's see who's in the audience. If you joined us live or watched the replay of part one or two, and you are joining us today for part three, just type three, the number three, or type out three. And if this is your first time joining the live, please type new. I see Marion Mills. Thank you so much for joining. So just type three if you saw parts one, two, and now, and type new if this is your first session. So we'll see if we have any new people. But while we are waiting on who's in the room, I just want to introduce myself again and the experts. My name is Saundi Harrison Cooksey, and I'm a voice actor. And I'm the creator of Fry O'Clock. If you don't know, I just little short videos I create to share on Fridays about my personal experience on this journey of running a business. And I love voice acting, but I also recognize it is a business. So I like to share and continue to learn how to create business flow. And so I would love to introduce our wonderful panelists, moderators as well, from T5 Transit to Here and AC, who have been our wonderful guides through this series. And they will walk us through the slides and the methodology with real world context. And Christy is our moderator. So, and she's a phenomenal creator of Building Doors VO and also a phenomenal voice actor, guys. She will be managing the chat and dropping links. And if you have questions, make sure you put them in there. She'll be capturing them and make sure that we address them. So, to Hear an AC, please give us a quick 60-second introduction of who you are and what you do to support business owners.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Tahira, and I'm the CEO of a fractional CFO firm. So my perspective on money started what I call like in a high stakes world of day trading. And so in that world, you survive and actually thrive by following a plan. And so I use automation, right? I set stops, I protect me and my targets to capture profit. So in essence, I set it and forget it. So I realized that business owners are missing that same momentum. Most people treat their bank accounts like a mood ring, right? If the number is high, they feel good and they spend money, right? If it's low, they feel scared and hide. That's friction. That's not a business, all right? And so our firm, we build like a trading plan, okay, for your bank account. And so we set up your stops, right? Those are the rules that stop overspending. We create targets, right? Those are percentages that guarantee your profit. So today is about sending it, right? We're moving from just being stuck to really streamlining our systems so that we can handle the momentum while you focus on your craft. So thank you.
Great. Sounds exciting. Okay, AC, how about you?
Hey, I love how those introductions are evolving, by the way. So if y'all been watching us, every time we introduce ourselves, we give you like a different angle of what we do. I'm going to try to do the same now. So my name is Ann Christie. Let me give you a little background. Born and raised in Haiti, grew up in Canada, and now I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. But, throughout these experiences, I'm noticing how people are the same. Okay. Throughout all my experiences, I realized that there are certain things that we were never taught. We were never taught how to run a business. We were taught how to be employees. So if you realize that I went to school for mathematics, economics, probabilities, statistics, finance, all these things, and I still did not learn what we're about to teach right here, which is crazy. And it's really because these are skill sets that are needed for people who run businesses. These are not skill sets if you're working at a firm.
Right.
And so imagine that you guys are all voice actors, and Saundi just explained this is a business. So now you are out there running a business, but you do not have the skills to run that business. And that skill will fail you at 82%. There's 82% chance that any business will fail because of cash flow management. Any form of business, whether you're selling jujubes on the side of the street, whether you're a marketer, whether you're selling art, whatever it is that you're doing, there's an 82% chance of you failing because you don't have that skill set. And that skill set is reserved to the high and mighty powers. We're breaking this mold and we're coming. Now, Tahira, Saundi, we're coming here and saying we want to stop this cycle and we want to give everyone the opportunity to have a system that they're not afraid of, but a system that is at their level that they can manage. And that's why we use Maya as our foundation, just to teach that very simple concept that they refuse to teach us at school.
Yes. So true. Yeah, it's so important. Before we dive in, we're gonna put the link in the chat and I'm gonna present alongside with the presentation so everybody can follow along. And just remember to be engaged and put your questions in. And yeah, so let me present the slide.
And I'm glad I love that most of the people who are here, they've been here. So you guys are in the saga of Maya, and we should be like, okay, what is happening to Maya next? So that's really interesting that most of everyone here listened to both sessions previously. And for anybody who's going to be doing the replay, remember there's 2 previous sessions, so don't feel lost. If we're talking about something you don't know about, just watch the part 1s and part 2 before you get into this part.
Absolutely. So again, AC mentioned Maya, and that's who are kind of like our avatar, if you will, for this Business Flow series. So again, this is Send It, and we have presented 1 and 2, as AC just said, and we are on Send It. And so Maya, if you watch the replay, she's thriving. She has her business entity. She has a business bank account. She has 5 separate accounts. She's implemented structure, but now she runs into a new challenge. She doesn't know how much to move or when to move it as far as those 5 accounts that were separated. And because of that uncertainty, she starts borrowing from one account to cover another. So she's feeling unclear again and starts to doubt. And I don't know about you, but even personally, I have a couple of accounts, and sometimes as one is lacking, I'll borrow from the other one and put it in to make it. And I always put in a note, seeding for whatever, you know what I mean? So you run into that with your business. So that's where we are with Maya. And so AC, please walk us through this moment when Maya is thriving and then she becomes a little bit doubtful.
Before AC, before you start, I just wanted to explain that the accounts, they're at the same bank. Some people had questions as far as the accounts. So they're looked at as sub accounts, but it's the same bank. So for example, if you were to open a Relay account up, it would be with Relay Financial, and you would actually see account 1 with a different account number, your second account with a different account number, all have the same routing number. So we're not talking about different institutions. It's under the same bank.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you.
And I want to slow it down just a tiny bit. If we can go back to the previous slide for a moment. Sure. Because we do have some time. I want to make sure, because this is the end, right? This is the last borrowing from account just the other day. Okay, perfect. Katie, great comment. But I want to slow it down for a moment. Okay, I want to go back to where Maya was thriving. And I want to have a sense and I want to understand. Maya did 3 things in the last 2 sessions. She opened a business entity, she has a business bank account, and she has 5 separate accounts. How many of you guys are at that place, right? So please, I don't know, write 3 if you've done all 3 things that are on that list right now, or write two if you've done only the two things, or one. And the reason why I'm saying that, I want to slow it down a little bit, because right now we're going to get into something a little bit more technical, and I don't want people to feel lost. So we're going to take our times to make sure that, because, we're excited. Yeah, right now it's me, Saundi, and Tahira. We're talking about what we know, but
Right.
I'm recognizing that it is a big step, right? Moving from a personal bank account to Tahira had some pushback. People said, well, Katie said she prefers to learn from women as opposed to her husband. I like that, Katie. Yes, definitely, because we go back and we look at all angles, right? And we take our time. And so, yes. So I want us to, so just think about where you are and understand that at any point where you feel the tension, at any point where you feel the resistance, this is where you might need help. So now we can move on to the next slide, because Maya was fine. Maya was like, whoop, I got my 5 envelopes. I'm doing fine. Whenever time my money comes in, I'm putting it into different envelopes, whoop, whoop, whoop. But if we all take a step back and we think about it, we can play the tape out. Thank you, Katie. We can play the tape out. What were some of the challenges that you could face from something like this? Thank you, Cheryl. See, there's no bad steps. There are 3 steps. Somebody did 1, some people did the 2, some people did the 3. Okay. Now, Maya did all 3. So Maya is at the point where, okay, things should be fine, but why is it not fine? And to Saundi's point, that's what Saundi and Tahira were mentioning. She wasn't sure how much money to put in those envelopes. So if one week she had $100, she would say, I feel like putting $10 here, $20 there, $50 there. And then the next week, I got a check for $300. I feel like I'm going to put. So what would happen is at the end of the month, whenever she's trying to do what her grandmother did, which is let me go to that envelope with confidence and take what I need to cover my bill, she went into the expense envelope. She's like, shoot, that's not enough. But then she's looking at her profit account or profit envelope, and there's a ton of money in there. She's like, I guess I'm going to have to take money from my profit envelope and pay some bills. And that doesn't give you a good feeling, does it? Because what's the point? Might as well keep all the money in one account. If I'm starting to do this complex accounting where I'm putting money in something and removing money. So she started feeling some kind of way. And she says, well, the heck with Relay, the heck with all this system. I just want to go back to where I was, which we've met a lot of people who were there. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, where when you meet something that is new and it's hard, the first obstacle that you find, you just want to go back to how things were. But then how things were was a problem. So we don't want you to go back. So this is where Maya was. She was between a rock and a hard place. She didn't want to go back to the junk drawer problem. She knows that having only one account and one pot of money is a problem, but those 5 accounts were not helping her either. So she felt a little bit misguided. And she said, look, I need help. So some people are at the I need help part at step 1. Some people are at the need help at step 2. Maya got the I need help at step 3.
So let me just throw something. Let me throw something out. It's almost like robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? We don't want to continue. A lot of us do that. Right. So yeah, that, when you start touching another account to pay your phone bill, it just gets messy.
And you're like, why am I in the first place? It's more work, right? Like, I might as well leave every money in the same junk jar. So Maya did something and said, let me reach out for help. And she reached out to a professional like T5 Transit. Of course, we're doing this. We're putting our names in there, but it could be anyone. And T5 Transit said, I think you went a little bit too fast, Saundi. I just wanted to see this. And T5 Transit said, opening the account provides you with structure, but structure without strategy is still stressful, right? And so that's where T5 Transit is coming on. So we can move on to the next slide, Saundi, where now the Profit First Professional, which is us, has said, look, you did nothing wrong. A lot of times we feel bad, right? Oh, I'm incapable. We have this negative self-talk, or, we're not sure. And then we tend to come down on ourselves, but this is not the case. This is just the point where she needed help. And T5 Transit had to say, you did not do anything wrong. You opened the accounts. Now it's our job. That's what we do, is to come up with strategies to support you, right?
Right.
The Profit First Professional, we were able to guide Maya through a 5-step process. Please understand. If you feel, hey, I can do this on my own, you can implement the 5 steps. But this is a master level implementation, which is why it's 5 steps. It's not like, just go do this.
Right.
going to walk you through the 5 steps that we walked Maya through so you can understand, oh, okay, here's how we guided her through the process. We did not throw her in the lion's den.
Exactly. And I love this part that nothing is wrong with you, because again, as we said at the top of the hour, that nobody trains us how to run a business. And so it's a journey that you're learning along the way as your business matures, as you learn more things. So I think this is very important to acknowledge that nothing is wrong with you. The thing is, you're making your first step to clarity and confidence. So I'm excited to jump into the 5 steps that T5 has helped. And AC, you want to go take us through step 1?
Yes. I like what Katie said. We underestimate the power of doubt. We think that not knowing how to do something initially, makes us wrong. But no, we all need each other. I don't know how to do what y'all do. You don't know how, and that's why we need each other. So the concept of either not deserving, and plus women, most of the people who watch are women. We have a tendency of not asking for help, or because we're strong people and we think or think we need to do everything on our own. But let's not do that, because you're running a business now, and a business needs a lot of different things that you are not necessarily able to cover on your own. Okay, so step 1, we're going back to the drawing board. Hey, Maya, remember you had 5 accounts? Let's remember what they mean. Let's just reset the stage. We have an envelope that's called income. We have an account that's called income. The only thing that this account is supposed to do is receive your money. Point blank, period. You never pay bills on it with it. You're not saving on it. It's just a receptacle, your mailbox. Your mailbox is only there to receive letters. It's not there to put letters in it. Nobody's going to pick it up. Okay. The second account is your profit. And it is crucial and important for us to do this materially and mentally. If you're running a business, you don't have profit. It is a hustle. We're not doing hustles unless we're choosing that's what we're doing, right? But it's a gross waste of time. And so we have to do profit. We have to have profit, because that's what helps the business grow. That's the only thing the profit does, is to make you look good. An account that sits there to accumulate money. That is it. And that is all. Then you have your tax account. If you're working a business in America or any other country in the civilized world, you pay taxes. And because of that, let's go ahead and put the money on the side. Okay, yeah. So Cheryl, we're going to get to you. We're going to get to that's a very good point. That's a very good point. And I taught that last night. So I'm definitely going to address this. So now you have your tax account. This is where you put money for taxes. This is what it's for. It's not for anything else than for Uncle Sam. Then you have your owner's pay. This is where you pay yourself. This is where Maya is going to pay herself. This is the only account she uses to pay rent, groceries, mortgage, or anything like that. She takes this money and she transfers it to her personal account so that she can pay her bills. Then she has her operating expenses. Operating expenses, this is where she pays all her bills for the business, her subscriptions and things like that. So what was happening was Maya was taking money from the tax account. When T5 Transit looked at what Maya was doing, because she was putting money in the tax account and she didn't think she needed it right away, she wanted to cover her operating expenses. She would take money from the tax account, put it in the operating expense account to cover the bills for the month. Well, that messes up the whole structure. Mm-hmm. To Cheryl's point now, Cheryl says structure is good, but then if I don't have enough money, I made this analogy yesterday, and please, and I think we're going to have time, but if you see me go too deep, Saundi, pull me out, because I'm super excited right now.
Okay.
A system is, so the example I took, you see my hair is like all straight and down. A system is a comb. A comb, I run it through my hair to make my hair straight. Somebody can have shorter hair like Saundi, longer hair like Tahira, thicker hair like Christy, whatever it is, the system is the same. It takes it and it smooths it out. Every business in the world is seasonal. Every single business in the world is cyclical. There's no business where it's always, that's why they are able to keep stability, is because their income is stable. No, The reason why they're able to keep stability is because they have a process of transformation that allows anything to come in to come out in a specific way, straight. So it doesn't matter how much you make. What matters is it's all going to look the same. It might be 2 strands of hair. Now, okay, you got 2 strands of hair, but it's straight. Or you got a bunch of them. So a system allows you to standardize and streamline anything you have so you can see clearly. So don't think that Home Depot doesn't have cyclical. Walmart is a cyclical business. A restaurant is a cyclical business, but they have a system in place that allows them to stabilize the business. And that's what Cheryl, your business, whether you make $1 or whether you make $10 million, the stability is still not there until you put a system in place.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because, I mean, we're living in times right now where companies are leaner because of the economy for whatever reason, tariffs, supply and demand, what have you. So a business, your own personal business, is the same way. So Katie's about to deep conditioning and mask her hair after this. So does everybody have a good concept of each account, the income account? That's where your money is coming in only. So that's going to be cyclical. To AC's point, it's going to be one day with $1,000, then one day with $0, because it's going to be distributed. And that's what step 2 is really next, where the money is going. And so let's talk about that, AC.
Let's talk about that. Notice the first thing that you will notice here. Oh, I like that question. Have you ever borrowed from one money bucket to cover another? So for the people who have more than one account, Cheryl, you see what you just said, 10 million? Be careful now. For people who have more than one account, have you been borrowing? But Cheryl, do you know that, and Tahir has a great analogy for this, more money, more problem. You can make, if you cannot manage $100 in a system, you will not be able to manage $10 million. You will not. You can make $10 million and spend $9.9 million of it. Easily, right? So it's never about how much you make. It's about the system that you put in place that now can take up more. The moment that the system is in place, now you can stuff it with things, but the system got to exist first. Revenue is not the system. So recognize in step 2 what we're telling Maya, because Maya is in that place, right? She's making money sometimes, she's not making money some other times. That's why she has to borrow from one account from another. In a system, we don't work with amounts, we work with percentages. So now everybody's involved. I can calculate 50% of $1, Cheryl. I can calculate 50% of $10 million. So what we're saying is any business who's making about between 0 and 250K, that was the case of Maya. So if you self-identify there, so that's your situation. We're teaching Maya and saying, hey, Maya, for businesses who typically make between 0 and 250K, so where they make $100, $200, $100,000, up to 250K a year, this is how much you should put in those envelopes. Every time you receive funds, half of it, 50%, whether it's $100 or it is $10 million, Cheryl, half of it goes into your owner's pay account, 50%. 30% of whatever, that's what you pay yourself. 30%, and I'm not going to go into the why as to why you pay yourself that much. This is another conversation. This is just the guidance. 30% of whatever you receive, whether it's $100 or the $10 million, 30% of it goes into your operating expense account to pay your bills. Don't worry about it. 15% you're going to put in your tax account, and then 5% you put in your profit account. We're teaching Maya that for businesses who are successful in America, this is typically how they allocate their money. They typically are able to pay themselves 50%. Why? You are the main operator of the business. Nobody else is recording your voice but you, right? So you are the player. You are the main player in the game. So if you cannot pay yourself, you're not running a business. If you cannot pay yourself for the thing that they are paying you for, think about it. You cannot pay yourself for the thing that they're paying you for because your business is eating it up. You're a slave to your business. Right. So we're teaching Maya that she needs to build a structure that looks like this. So these are healthy targets. These are goals. Maya's like, that looks good. But what does that have to do with me? So we're looking at, okay, Maya, these are goals and aspirations. It's like me showing you somebody with six-pack abs, all muscle, no, not, and I'm like, okay, but this is a journey. I'm not here. I'm not there. I have to get there. So now we're assessing in step 3, we're showing Maya, this is the dream. In step 3, where are you really, Maya? Do you have the six-pack abs or are you just a one big pal, right? Where are you? Where are you? And there's no wrong place to start. But you have to identify where you are so you can understand the journey. That's all it is. Life is always about the journey. That's what I believe. It's never about the finish line because the finish line doesn't exist. You never arrive anywhere. There's no arriving. The vision gives you an opportunity to lean into a direction.
I just wanted to throw out there that the journey is about awareness. So you need to be aware the whole time where you are standing and where you're trying to go, right? And so this is where we do everything with intention. The moment we stop being intentional, we're just kind of all over the place, right? And so that's why we say, hey, every dollar needs to have a purpose. Every account needs to have a purpose, and we're going to direct it. We're going to send it where it needs to go to better our life, to get us on the path or to keep us on the path so that we can reach our goals that we say we want to reach.
Mm-hmm. And so is that something that T5 does determine? How do you determine the percentages, I guess?
So that's our work. So this is not for something for you to do, although we have a little goodie at the end of the call where you get to do this yourself if you want to play. All right. If you don't want to play, just call us. But if you want to play, you definitely can try it out. So what we've done in step 3 is we've assessed Maya's business. We have a system for it. The system, we shared it with you at the end of the call. You all will receive it so you can see what it looks like. When we looked at how Maya was operating, where Maya is, right? So you go to that gym, that person is benching 200 pounds. Maybe you're at 5 pounds. So we had to understand, before you start, they kind of do a little exercise test to see how fit you are. Mm-hmm. And we determined where Maya was. In fact, Maya was spending 60% of her income in her operating expenses. That's how much she was paying for her bills. Is it right? Is it wrong? It doesn't matter. We're not here to make her right or wrong. We're here to see where she is. That's all. Okay? Mm-hmm. There's no wrong place because guess what? If we were thinking about, we are all in the wrong place. We are all in the wrong place, right? So it's not about that. It's more so about understanding where we are. So we understood that Maya was spending 60% of her income in her operating expenses. We understand that. Maya was in fact paying herself 30% of her income. Anytime she went in, she was roughly paying herself that. We see that she's saving about 9% in taxes and she's putting 1% in profit. If you add all these numbers together, 60 plus 30 plus 9 plus 1, it gives you 100. So this is how her $100 were allocated. These numbers were not random. We went through an exercise. And like I said, you're going to have that exercise that you can conduct on your own, or you can do it with us. Now, the slide I like the most is the one right after that, step 4. And I know it's going to take a couple of seconds before you can see it yourselves. But step 4, now, this is the game changer, okay? This is where Maya is understanding the complete story. This is where she's able to see where she is and then where she is going. And the slide is going to come up for you guys in a second.
And while we're waiting on that slide, I just wanted to say, I wanted to get the audience, where's everybody feeling right now? Do they feel what's urgent right now? Is it to increase income, reduce expenses, sort of like that slide that we just talked about? So put your answers in the chat, but go ahead, AC.
Okay, yeah. So put your answers in the chat. I really want to know where you guys are there in terms of the percentages of Maya's story. Now, I don't want anyone to look at a graph ever again and be like, oh my God, I can never understand it. This is not for me. No, it is for you. Okay. There's nothing complicated. Everything is color coded. So let's look at it together. Let's focus on the green bars. You see there's 3 green bars. One for owner pay. It says 50%. Y'all see it. For operating expenses, you see 30%. For taxes, you see 15%. For profit, you see 5%. These are where she needs to go. Mm-hmm. This is where Maya needs to go. The green bars. The red bars represent where Maya is. So you will notice that if you look at owner pay, Maya is paying herself 30% of her income. But the graph is saying Maya needs to pay herself 50%. So you see the difference between 50% and 30%. We move on to the next category, operating expenses. We're saying that Maya should only be spending 30% of her income in expenses. But in fact, Maya is spending 60% of her income in expenses. We're saying that Maya should, see, it's always should and is. Maya should be saving 15% in taxes, but in fact, Maya is spending 9%. As a matter of fact, I want to slow down because everybody's answering the question from previously, and I want to make sure that we address those, and we do have some time. So let's see. So the question was,
which feels more urgent right now? Increase income, reduce expenses. So a lot of people are saying increase income. I think Katie mentioned that she sets aside 25% for taxes because she's really nervous about that. I'm with you, Katie. I do not want Uncle Sam talking about, hey, we need some more money from you. So these are the 4 accounts that you talked about that are part of the 5. Of course, the income is not on there because that's something that's constantly in movement. You're constantly getting money in there. And so these each represent the 4 accounts. And you were saying how Maya is where she actually is the red bar, and where she is going, her target, if you will,
is the green bar.
And it's sort of similar to your gym thing. Do you want 6-pack abs? Maybe, but let's start off with maybe 2 packs.
1 pound. 2 pounds. Yes. Yeah.
Or 1 pack. I don't know.
Yeah. So for the people who are saying that they're having an income problem and income increase, notice how we don't talk to Maya about her income at all. We don't care about Maya's income. You know why? If we look at this graph closely, imagine Maya made more money. She's still taking 60% of that more money and sending it to bills.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl, $10 million, Maya would take 60% of that $10 million and put it in expenses. You don't want to take your $10 million and put it into expenses. We have to change Maya's structure because Maya needs to have a leaner business. Maya only should have spent 30% of her income towards her expenses. So you see how more money, more problem. So before you were spending a certain amount in expenses, you're like, okay, but now you're taking 10 million and you're taking more than half of it. You could not sleep at night. That you're taking more than half of your income, of your $10 million, you throw it in expenses because you need a system. So our job, and this very simple job, we need to make sure that we need to move. Sanji, just go back to the previous one. We need to make sure that the red bars are meeting the green bars. So the green bars stay fixed. They do not move. In order to move the red bars, if I pressed the 60% down, the highest bar, if I pressed it down, it would force the owner pay to go up. It would force the tax to go up. It would force the profit to go up. Because it's the same percentages. I'm taking away from the big one and I'm throwing it to the other one. That is what C5 Transit does. That is what the system should do for you. That is how we correct a system. Go ahead, Tahira.
So I was going to say, remember that cash flow generation is one thing into itself, right? That's what you all do with your craft, right? It's what we do with what we do and our work. But it's understanding what happens the moment someone pays you and that dollar hits your bank account. What happens? This is where we begin our work, okay, with you.
So Tahira and I did that for our sons, right? If they're running a business, even if they're making $50, if they're spending 40 to make 50, we have to change their system. And oftentimes we're trained to say, okay, you're spending 40 to make 50, but you really need to only spend 15 to make 50. That's the work. The work is not chasing after revenue. Chasing after revenue, it just compounds the problem. So before we chase revenue, if I keep pouring coffee in this mug and there's a bunch of holes in it, I'm never going to have enough coffee to put in this cup. The cup is leaking. So we have to stop the bleed. And that's the part that people miss. You have no idea how many smart people miss it, and they're chasing after revenue. And the moment you chase after revenue, you're making another person rich, not yourself, because 60% of your money is going out anyway. So let's
Exactly.
fix it so that we can be ready to receive the abundance of the world, right? So this is the exercise that T5 Transit does with Maya, is we pressing the red bar down and we're moving the other ones up. We can
And
move
to
on. Go ahead.
okay, and to Cheryl's point, 10 million, put it out there, speak those things as if they were. So if it was 10 million before T5 Transit helped Maya, she would have been spending what, 6 million,
6
you
million.
6 million in operating expenses. And then she would have had what? Was it 30%?
3 million
3
for
million.
herself instead of 5 million for herself.
Exactly. So that alone, I mean, and you can take it on a smaller level of
I like that.
$100. So yeah. So that really makes a difference when you're
Mhm.
allocating and you're getting your percentages right. Okay, how do we do this? How does it work? If
now
we
how do
have
we
the
do
5
this?
accounts, if we
Yeah.
have the percentages, then what?
So that's what was going on with Maya. So Maya, yes, she opened a 5 account. She was happy with it, but she was doing it like her grandmother was doing, manually, physically. Every time she received a check, she takes her little calculator, or actually, she doesn't take a calculator. As a matter of fact, she just puts money in those envelopes based off of how she feels in the moment. She's guessing. She's feeling hopeful one day, not hopeful another day. Sometimes she would just put all the money in one envelope, right? So there was not a system. So yes, she had a structure, but she didn't have rules to establish, to create a full system. And T5 Transit was like, oh, Maya, you're missing quite a few things that you can do that can just remove all the stress. Now that we've determined where you are and where you need to be, life is like that, point blank. Where you are, where you need to be in anything, in your relationships, in your job, in your anything. It's determining where you are, determining where you want to go. So we've done that for Maya. Was it Maya? We're not going to just let you do it on your own, trying to figure out how to get there. So the first thing we did with Maya is let's create some automations, because it's clear we already know where you are, where you want to go, so we can automate it. The first thing we do is, instead of Maya physically putting money in those accounts, what we do is we go into her system and we automate. Every week now, the system looks into Maya's income account and they transfer the money in the other 4 accounts
Based on
automatically.
the percentages.
The second thing we do, exactly, we go into the system and we determine the percentages as to how the money is going to move. We already determined are we going to take the target? Meaning, the 200-pound person? No, we're not going to do that to Maya. Maya is at a place where right now she's at 60%. She's spending 60% of her money. And we're not going to say, wishful thinking. Oh, no, Maya, it should be 30. And then, well, it's not going to work because that's what I'm spending. I need to spend it until I'm not spending it anymore. So we meet you where you are. So we said, okay, Maya, let's put it into the system that 60% of your income goes towards your expenses. This is just how you operate right now. Nothing wrong. We want to make sure that whatever she was actually doing, her actual reality is translated into an automatic system. And then from there, we start changing her percentages and helping her optimize. But there's no point of trying to optimize until we've actually recreated Maya in the system. So the way we recreated it, Maya now every week, the money is leaving her income account, moving to those other 4 accounts, following the percentage that are related to her business. So we solved.
Oh, go ahead and finish your thought. Go ahead.
Because I was going to say what we solved here is the problem that she had, right? She was borrowing from accounts. It wasn't enough. Well, it wasn't enough because the way she was provisioning those accounts was not in line with her actual operations. She didn't even know her actual operations. T5 Transit determined how she was actually operating and automated it. So now at the end of every month, Maya ain't got to worry about nothing because she's not even surprised that there's enough money to pay her expenses because it's 60%. Like that's what she's spending. And that's how much we're putting in those envelopes. And so now Maya is at a place where everything is moving automatically. There's no more emotional transfers. And then now she can just think about the next step and starting to move towards those targets.
And so I wanted to relate that to the business being, and this is from our session 1, right? So now your business being, right? Your business is able to breathe on its own, right? It's almost like your business baby, right? It's separate from the human, So now you've gotten your business to a point where it can breathe on its own. It's automated, it's systemized, it's doing what it's supposed to do. That's where we want to be.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good. And I really like the automation. And I'll just a personal testimony.
Please.
I found T5 Transit, and I had part of the rhythm, but not all of it. So I had my 5 accounts, and I was at a brick and mortar bank, and it had online features, but I would literally, like, twice a month go in there, do a spreadsheet, calculate the percentages, move the money, do these transfers. And again, if you're with a brick and mortar bank or a traditional bank, they're going to look at you like you're crazy when you ask for the 5 accounts. And then, when you see all your statements and, you're moving, transferring money twice a month, it took up a lot of my time. And maintaining a spreadsheet, even though I love to do that, it still took up a lot of time. And so the automation is so key in this, and the rules. And if you are interested, I really advise you to consult with them and look at your percentages, and just be open and give it a try, because it really does make a huge difference. And the discipline that you will create automatically, but you'll see it, and it'll just make a world of a difference. So
I want
the
to
rhythm
address
is
Katie. Okay,
Mhm.
go ahead. I'll
No,
let you
go
finish.
ahead.
I wanted to address Katie's point. I love what you said, right? Katie recognized that she was spending $40 to make $50. Okay. It decreases the stress. So let's take that example. I have one of my clients, she makes cakes. That's the easiest thing. She makes cakes. And I said, but such and such, let's call her Pam. I said, but Pam, you're selling those I said, how much does it cost you to make this specific cake? About $90. I said, okay, Pam, how much are you selling this cake for? Oh, 120. That's the problem. As soon as Pam told me that she spends $90 to make a cake, I know how to calculate pricing now. I'm going to take $90 divided by 30%. I'm saying I'm not super smart. It's just the percentages. I said, for a cake to cost you $90, you have to sell it for $300. This is the price of the cake. If you want to respect the targets that we just shared. So Katie, think about this. If that thing costs you $40 to do, then you should charge $133. So if you cannot charge $133, you do 2 things. Either you change your clients or you change what you're offering, because they cannot afford it. Similar to the lady who was baking cake. I said, maybe you don't have an audience of anybody who can buy a $300 cake from you at this time. So maybe continue making pound cakes, because that's what they can afford. You see?
Yeah.
So you are able to make better business decisions when you have a strategy in place. There's no more guessing or emotional, or let me see what X person is doing on the side. Let me see what Jane, Joe, Jack is doing so I can know what to do. No, your numbers dictate exactly what you can from what you cannot do. So Katie, when I consider your situation, it's not even a question. If it costs me $40, I should charge $133. That's it. And if you cannot charge $133, that's the conversation we have. How do we do it? Do we decrease our expenses so that it can be more affordable, or do we find a different audience that can pay for that?
Yeah. And
Okay.
Cheryl, as we approach the last slide, Cheryl asked, what happens during the weeks and months where there is no income, but the operating expense goes up? And that's kind of what you spoke
Yes.
to. Yeah.
How? As part of our strategy at T5 Transit, there's not one business that doesn't have something called emergency account. An emergency account. So we have the 5 accounts just to keep it simple, y'all. But if you're going to be working with me, you're going to have about 8 of them, because I'm going to have you have an emergency account. Because the emergency account is there to, I don't even want to call it emergency anymore, because it's expected. Every business is cyclical. Every business, there's a time that they don't make money or they make less money than expected. Every business does this, but your system stabilizes it. How? With an emergency account. Your emergency account should have about 3 months worth of your operating expenses. So when that happens, you're not like worried. You're like, I know January I don't make money. That's expected. I know 3 months out of the year I don't make no money. That's expected. It should not be a surprise, an event, a magical thing, oh my God moment, and every year you go through that same emotional roller coaster. No, we're removing that. Like
So
Tahira was saying, it should be boring.
yeah. So there's a question from Susan. She said, how did you go from 40 to 133? Maybe that was
You take 40 divided by 30%. 40 divided by 0.30 gives you $133.
so that was the
So you
cake
take your,
example.
yes, that was Katie's example, because Katie
Okay,
spent
gotcha.
$40 to make 50. And I'm saying, no, Katie should take her expenses divided by 30%, and that gives her how much she should charge. Okay, we have another interesting question that I like here. Oh, yes, some brick and mortar banks require minimums. That is why Maya chose to work with Relay Financial. Relay
Absolutely.
Financial is a no minimum balance requirement, no transaction fees, and no overdraft fees. It's a no fee platform because it is built for businesses like you, Katie, for businesses like us, for small entrepreneurs who need a cash flow system. Because please understand, Home Depot has a cash flow system, but they simply have somebody they're paying $500,000 to do it for them. But you don't have that. So Relay Financial was built to create this financial structure for small businesses so y'all can make it. Because there's 82% chances of you not making it if you don't have that system. Because you're going to continue spending $40 to make $50. And they know this.
Right. So because I want to have time for a couple of more questions. So Maya has gotten the system automated. Her mental load is released. She's generating revenue. And I think she's probably seeing the revenue that she's generating, because if you can't, I go back to see it. If you don't have a system and you don't know what's coming in, what's going out, and you're using one account to pay taxes, one account to do operating, you can't really see, and you feel like you're just kind of churning and spinning in some quicksand. So that's why it's good to have this strategy, to have 5 accounts that are separated to do the job. These accounts are doing the work for her. And I kind of said that on that Friday o'clock, that these accounts will do the work for you. They are working. And then you have a better, clear picture of how your business is doing. And then that can lead into the Katie question of 40 to pay 50. You need to increase your rates, perhaps.
It could be that.
Or decrease your expenses. So it just depends on what scenario you have. But the question is to feel confident and to be able to see what you're sending out. And so that's why we're talking about sending it. And so Maya's money is moving on purpose. It's not just willy-nilly, oh, here's a thing I need to pay. Oh, I need to save for this taxes. It has a purpose and it's moving.
Mm-hmm. And to answer Katie, so Relay Financial, all of the things that Saundi says is done inside of Relay Financial. Once you're going to sign up for that offer that we have at the end, you will also have another link again, Katie, to open a Relay account. Opening the Relay account is free. You can do it on your own. When you're going to follow those steps, these are T5 transit steps, because we are Relay Financial advisors. You must believe, right? We're here building cash flow management systems. We partnered with a platform that allows you and us to do that job with you and for you. So that is the whole game. And Relay Financial is free. So Katie, you're going to go on there. You're going to get the offer. You can open a Relay account today. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes for free by following our steps. It's a free account, but you're going to get into this. You might get into the same place as Maya, where you have the tool, you have the accounts, but you might need the support for the strategy. Okay. But understand that the platform is there and it's available and it is free. And we're facilitating that for you. Right. Another thing that I wanted to say, like maybe something again that I want to reiterate. We are at a point where we need to make a choice. If you don't make a choice, your last 10 years is going to look like your next 10 years is going to look like the past 10 years. If we don't make a change, if we don't interrupt our patterns of behavior, we just continue on and continue on. So Maya's story is there to stop us and say, okay, where should I improve? But one thing I know for sure, if I don't comb my hair every day, even with my fingers, I don't have a real comb, but I use my fingers as a comb. I know for a fact that if I don't comb my hair, I'm going to have one big, huge dreadlock like this. Right? So a system allows you to standardize whatever you have. Remove from your mind that it's a matter of how much money you make. Make sure that your cup is, make sure that your cup doesn't have any holes in it. So that way, whenever you're consuming whatever is coming in the cup, you actually are able to consume it and you're not leaving things by chance. Look, I say that all the time. Hope is not a strategy. I'm not against hope. I'm a very, very hopeful person. I'm very spiritual. I'm optimistic. I'm sometimes even idealistic. But I also understand that I need practicality. Tahir and I talk about this all the time. I say, yes, I'm a very idealistic person, but through my training, I learned to be practical. There's a level of practicality that you need in order to make something happen. You can wish the pounds off of your body all day long. You can hope and pray all day long to lose that 10 pounds, that 15, that 20 pounds. But if you don't have a system, whatever system it is, it doesn't need to be going to the gym. It could be you sitting in front of your TV doing some push-ups. But if you don't have a system in place, nothing will change. And Maya recognized that. And Maya did not think, oh, I'm just a voice actor. You cannot minimize your talent. You cannot minimize the time and the work that you put out there. Everybody listening to y'all's voices, even Tahir, we heard Saundi's voice the other day. It was like, oh my God, that's Saundi. So y'all are out there being great and you deserve a business that is supporting you. And you can. Even the lady who's making the cake, if she had understood the pricing of her cake, she would have been able to pay herself properly. But
Absolutely.
Katie, if you're out there for $40, you're making 50, you will never pay yourself. You're just out there transform it into a nonprofit. Be done with that. It's a nonprofit.
So,
You're just giving
so,
out.
so just remember that some of the most successful business owners, they don't work harder, right? They just have better rules. And so we're here to help you understand the rules that you need to have in place. Okay. And also we always want to make sure that your income is always greater than your expenses. It's almost like a number one rule, right? If your expenses are greater, we're always going to have a problem, no matter if you just have $5 coming in. Okay. Go ahead.
So you remember Tim Ferriss, right? You and I, we geeked out on that thing, right? The 4-hour work week.
Mm-hmm.
We geeked out on that. So how come this man, multi-millionaire, working 4 hours a week, and us, we think we need to work 90 hours and we never make it.
Yeah.
You see, it's not about revenue. It's not about the effort. It's not about that. It's about the system. He created a system. It's a system that he has. He's not smarter. First of all, he's a dropout. He got kicked out of school. He got fired. He's unemployable. But he's out there being great because of only one thing, a system, not even something he learned. It's a system. And we're saying the same thing.
It's like your money is working for you. The money that you are making is working for you
properly. Instead of Maya is actually taking 30% of her money every month and throwing it away.
Yes.
Throwing it away.
Right. Katie said it's all about systems and support. And Cheryl, I love that. Smarter, not harder. I used to hate when corporate America would tell me that. I'm like, what does that mean? I got to do the work. You know what I mean? But my example earlier, when I was manually transferring, even though it was online with my brick and mortar bank, I was still working harder. But then when I moved to a platform that allowed me to do rules and that was set up to support this profit first methodologies, the 5 accounts, the 5 buckets, it just made it easy. So it's just simple. And I'll admit the setup is upsetting. Like, I'm a very rigid, like, orderly person. And so when I had to set it up, it took a little bit of time for me because I had already, worked with the brick and mortar and everything was all in place for years. So it's good if you're starting out to start now and soon. And Relay free accounts, you can't get that. And you can get up to 20. Did we mention that? You can get up to 20.
And actually, we even forgot about the freebie we have going on, and we're almost done. So we're going to give, the assessment that we did from Maya, we are going to do it for free for the first 3 people who schedules with us. We have a coupon code in all this stuff that is being shared. You will see that we have a code where if you put it into a checkout, you will get a chance to have a 45-minute session with me where I assess your business. Assess your business meaning we know the targets already. The targets is the same for probably all of us if we're making less than 250K, okay? So we know where we need to go. We're going to do the work of understanding where you are. Come to Jesus moment. Now, in the worksheet also allows you to do it on your own if you follow the steps. But if you need guidance, if you need help, where did you get your chair?
It's the story behind this chair, but I'll let you know, Cheryl.
So if you need support, you're curious about your numbers, you're curious to understand where you are, right? Are you in the $40 to $50 thing, right? Where you're spending 90% of your money? We need to understand where you are. So we do this work with you to analyze this. And I know it's a bit annoying, but that's why we do it for you. So if you want to get it done, follow along. The first three, it's first come, first serve. The first 3 people get it for free. So please jump on it. I want to see 3 people scheduled today. So that way you really take advantage. For the others who didn't get a chance, there's still a moderate fee. Please go ahead, go for it, schedule your time and get it done because you need that clarity in order to be able to know how to move forward. Okay.
And again, and also feel free if you still have questions. I am happy to share my journey, where I am and how this system works for me. And again, it's a system that is from the ages, the envelopes. That's how our parents did it, or friends or whatever. It's the system. Even they had a system. Now it's automated in this 21st century. It's automated. And so I really implore you to think about it. Take a stab at the worksheet that was sent out in the link. I think I sent the wrong link the first time, but the other link is correct. The ClickUp worksheet to sign up and get that worksheet and try it. And feel free again to reach out to me. And that we're at the end, Maya's journey. Now we may talk to Maya later on and just see how she's doing after she's adopted this system. And it disciplines you as well. You don't really have to do anything but focus on your craft. Focus. If you bake cakes, if you're a voice actor, you focus on your craft. Once the system is set up, it's set up. And so I really want to thank AC and Tahira for their times this past, 6 weeks we've been together. And I really want to thank Christy Hars for letting us use the Building Doors platform to present this information to you. Again, we would love to hear your feedback. I will be sending out a survey later on, but please, I implore you to reach out to me, reach out to T5 if you're ready to move forward. And just try it. Just try it.
Of course, you have no reason not to. No reason not to. Okay. Absolutely. And I don't know. We're the only ones who do. I'm so baffled. I don't know anybody else who's having those conversations and who's actually coming with solutions that are, that are digestible, right? The pricing, because we do numbers. I know what y'all can afford. I know it. So everything is engineered to be in line with your business. Okay, right. So please keep that in mind.
And we want to help you. And thank you, Susan, for saying that your comment that you made about it's easy to understand. We appreciate that. And again, we just appreciate your presence. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll be putting the replay out a little later on in the next couple of days. And just thank you. And be sure to sign up. Get the free $3.99.
We have group calls also. We are creating an amazing community of people. We can continue the conversation. A habit is formed by compounding our behavior, right? Yeah. No, well, the impact of our behavior is compounded through our repeated actions. And Absolutely. So come on and come have the conversation with us every week. Stay plugged in with us. We have a ton of free resources. Stay connected so that, you're not just aspirationally moved today, that you're actually going to put some action behind these sessions.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Katie. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate everyone who joined. Have a great day.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.